on today. What's up, Facebook? All the places that I'm streaming. Facebook, my business Facebook page, Tailor Made Training for You. Twitter, FIMP, YouTube, Gwen's Boys Mindset. Please like and subscribe. Make your comments. What's up, good people? You are in the No Judgment Zone with yours truly, Sean Taylor. Discussing topics with no judgments. Discussing topics with no judgments. I got two good guests on the podcast tonight. I'm so excited. First of all, we got to introduce Miss Kendal Cann on the show. First time I was on her podcast. It was awesome. She got to get some little tidbits and post them so you guys can see what me and Kendal talked about. And then we got my boy, my ace, Brandon Lampley. He's always a regular. I'm on his show. He's on mine. So we are going to dive into this thinking. But first, I want to put a disclaimer out there. Remember, this show is raw off the dome, straight up off the top.
Yeah.
It is the no judgment zone. We talk about whatever. There's no right or wrong, no rhyme or reason to it. We say whatever. Listen. You are entitled to your opinions, good people in Facebook land, wherever we're streaming right now, to make all your opinions. But what Sean doesn't do, Sean does not beef with the so-called internet gangsters, the internet wannabe gangsters, the people that hide behind the telephone tough guy people. I don't get into debates. I don't argue. I don't do none of that stuff. So when you say something derogatory, make a comment that's kind of slick at the mouth, like I kind of know, condescending, whatever, I'm just going to get the thumbs up to you and keep it moving. So I'm sorry. I'm just not in a debating type of, I'm not that type of dude. It's not that type of show. No judgments. You can say and think whatever you want. This is a place you can come and say whatever you want. So now the title of this segment is Miss Independent. Now, I posted something last week, and some people agreed with it. They didn't agree with it. So Miss Independent for me, the first woman I ever met that was independent, that worked a couple of jobs, that took care of two boys who didn't have their father. The Miss Independent woman that I met, the first one was my mother. Then it was my grandmother. Then it was my Aunt Deborah. Three independent women who really worked hard, and they did it on their own, okay? No negative things about men, anything of that nature. They just went out there and just got it done. So for me, some fellas don't like an independent woman. To me, I do, and I applaud them. So the whole post was about the independent woman. It wasn't what was it? What was the word that they said? It wasn't shaming language. Somebody said the language was shaming. And I'm like, obviously that individual didn't read the content of the post. They just read the illustration, the blue illustration that I had that, about the begging chick and whatever. She's not that begging chick or whatever. They didn't read the content, which I was actually, if you look at it and if you read it, I was uplifting the independent woman, encouraging her, applauding her for her efforts. Again, some dudes don't like independent women because they can't be controlled. Listen, if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it. Let's be real about it. It's about controlling. Me, she out there getting a bag because an independent woman is nothing but a female hustler. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. She's out there doing it. She's getting her education. She's on top of her fitness. She's getting that money. She's doing her thing. So I don't understand what the problem is or the disconnect about the independent woman. There's always so many derogatory statements about the woman who's independent. So since Kendal's on the show, she's a woman. I am intrigued to see what's in that mind of Miss Cann. So Miss Cann, let us know what you think about the whole Miss Independent dynamic.
Man, that is
I could talk about this for hours
Of course.
because I'm conflicted myself, right? So I have
Right.
always been, thank you, babe. I have always been incredibly independent. Growing up, my mom did not work. It was a
Right.
choice.
Right.
But she had a very high education level and she was bitter about it, right? My entire childhood, she told me never be a stay-at-home mom. It is the most thankless job. And I can't
Right.
tell you how many times she told me that. So there definitely I'm not going to call it trauma, but that affected me as a child. I wanted to have my own. I didn't want to stay at home with some bratty kids. And so that was the mindset I had. And then I also had a father in the finance industry who grew from nothing and became very successful, and he brought me along with him. So at about 9 or 10 years old, I was trading. So I knew how to make money at a very young age. So that coupled with my mom's attitude kind of put me into that category early on. I will say, I am a Christian. I'm a baby Christian. In the Bible, I'm not a good baby Christian. I can't quote verses. There is a part of the Bible that talks about being submissive to your man. And I
Mm.
think today we have a convoluted perception of the meaning of the word submissive. When I come home from making decisions all day long, and I have my own wealth management practice. I have about 250 clients all over the country. I've written a book. I have 4 rental properties, um, and I've invested in 3 startups. I'm fucking busy. And when I come home, I don't want to make a goddamn decision. I want my husband to make my decision. I want him to make the calls. I want him to be in charge. So I feel great about being an independent woman, but I do have the desire to have a leader as a partner, if that makes sense. I think it's 2-part, right?
Right. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
yeah. What do you think,
That
Brandon?
makes that makes complete sense. I get that. Hey, put the ticker down at the bottom, Sean, because you can't see her name at all, so nobody can see her
All
name.
right, dude. You listen, dude. I know exercise science and nutrition. You talking about tickers? What are you talking about? Tickers? What are you talking about?
The at the bottom, what they have all your information on it.
I don't know. I see my name.
There you go. That's better.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the
Got to get the
fuck is
information out there,
Spin
man. Let's go.
P?
There we go. So, what you were talking about, Kendall, is interdependence. So yeah, you have your own thing going on, and you out there doing your thing, but you want a man that's a leader. You want a man who takes control. You're not looking for, say, a 50-50 guy, 50-50 partner. Well, no, you do this and I'll do that. No, you're looking for a man to take control, even though you want to go out and do the things that you want to do, the things that fulfill you and make you happy, but you're doing it in the context of the family umbrella. You're not doing it thinking, oh, this is just solely Kendall. I'm doing what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. No, you're doing it in the context of your family. What has
Eh,
been
sometimes, Brandon, sometimes.
sometimes, sometimes,
Sometimes I check
sometimes,
my bank account and I'm like, I could fucking leave you whenever I want
yeah, of
and not
course,
skip a motherfucking beat. I do that quite often, at least
right,
daily.
right, right.
So,
right.
just being honest with you.
Oh no, no, no.
See, I
I
like
get
that.
that.
You know what I like about that statement is that she brings she already had a different dynamic when it came to that table. You know what I'm saying? Like the independent woman, she can bring the tables, the legs, the chairs. She can bring the whole damn thing and then some. A lot of guys have can find that extremely intimidating. Um, for me to be raised up by an independent woman, I've always my mother my mother's she was a tough woman. She was a hard working woman, but my mom said, you know what? I want you to have balance. But just like they're tough on you, you make sure you be tough on them too as well. See, I'm a different type of cat. A lot of people don't agree with it. A lot of women don't agree with it. I really don't care because I don't have to be with you. So, because the woman that I'm with uh, understands my mental psyche, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters to me. She gets me. She gets my way of thinking. She gets the way I was raised. Not every woman's going to get that, but the independent woman would, and an independent woman and a dude's doing this thing who's not stuck in the ice age, the stone age, the caveman age, he's not going to have no problem with her having a voice, being independent. But the person who is a little bit insecure in their manhood is going to have a huge problem with the independent woman. Okay, so this is what I've seen as a dude, what I've heard women who pretty much say that as independent women. So how do we bring this dynamic of the independent woman not being such a negative thing and it be a positive thing? So what you guys take on that?
I think, Sean, it's attitude. So you have women who fly under the independent woman banner, but they
Right.
have crazy attitudes. They have terrible attitudes. They're insufferable people. There's people that men don't want to be around. I don't care how insecure or how you talk about men and say whatever, but a man, it's basic that, like the Bible scripture says, it's better to live on the edge of the roof than to be in the house with a quarrelsome woman. And I don't care how independent you are, how much money you got, cars, all that crap.
Right.
If you in my face, you quarrelsome, we ain't got nothing to talk about, baby. You could be independent, but be independent over there. If that's the attitude.
Brandon, you can't, we got to be careful. We got to be careful and not say that we want to let the world know and let all the independent women know that they're not all in a box as being combative and masculine.
No, but people they usually judge the whole
right.
off the. That's what I'm talking about, Sean. They usually judge the whole off the few. Just like when it comes to black men, they see me, they see my hair, they see me, they think, oh, he probably a Pookie and a Ray Ray, and I'm not. That's what it is. So I understand you don't want to get grouped in a box, but that's just life.
But is that fair though? Is that fair to put all the independent women in a box? Because I know a lot of independent women from school, college, whatever, that have balance. They're independent. They're here's the thing. The independent woman that has balance, she has mastered the art of compartmentalization. She wears that hat in her business and her job, and when she comes home, like Kendal said, she wants her man to take control. That's an independent woman right there. I know that's an independent woman. I've trained this girl right here. I know she's independent. But as you said, if you listen to what she just said, when she goes home, she wants her man to take care of that stuff.
Right.
She's not going home trying to control everything. She's like, look, dude, I do that all day. Okay, tell me what to do. I can listen to my husband. There's none of this. So how does a woman find balance, Kendal, when it comes to that independent woman thing?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't want people to think that are watching this that I have all of the answers. I do struggle in our marriage because I think that it takes a special type of man to be with someone like me.
Exactly.
And I think that a lot of times when other men meet me, because I'm not scared when we go to like a party or especially with AJ's teammates, I'm not going and hanging out with the women. I'm usually the one like out there with the men smoking a blunt, chopping it up. Like, and that initially, my husband still's not crazy about it.
That's
but
dope,
it's not natural, right? It's
no,
not. It comes off.
I think it's dope as hell. But I mean, but not every dude thinks like that. He's not.
No,
here's the thing. Not every man is open-minded enough.
Exactly. And my husband still struggles with that because it's not the cultural norm.
No,
it's not. And other men perceive it. And he's been asked about it several times. Like, it doesn't bother you, like, that she works so much, or that she goes out with her friends, or does what she wants. And I think that my husband, I don't want to speak for him, but I think men in general become insecure about that because to them it makes them look weak. So that's something I'm trying to figure out. Is there really an alpha and a beta male, or is there just some men that are more open-minded? Or what are your thoughts on that? Because I think men struggle with the perception of themselves as it is portrayed by the woman that they choose to be with.
So Brandon, I'm gonna let you take this, and I'll piggyback.
Well, you said a key word as far as that what you said is being masculine is seen as masculine. And like you say, a lot of guys, that kind of behavior, they don't really jive with it or whatever, for whatever reason. And the whole alpha and beta thing, I think that is a real thing, because we talk about the betas all the time and how
All
they're
the
a
time.
huge part of the problem.
Yep.
Huge part of the problem. But we can, but that's a whole show, so we're not even gonna get into that. But as far as you being able to compartmentalize and walk that fine line, let's be honest, Kendall, there are not many women who can do that successfully. I mean, if we're really being honest, you want to take the percentage and women of whole, because it's a hard thing to do. I mean, it's very tough. That's why everybody can't pass the bar exam. Everybody can't get their doctorate. Everybody can't have, be a rocket scientist, because these are very hard things to do. So for you to be able to do that, to even be trying, you skating on that line and trying to be able to do that, I think it's a good thing, of course. But like I was saying, it's a very hard thing to do, and not many women can do it. A lot of women claim they can, but not many can.
Can what?
Toe that line. Toe that
The line of
line
what?
between. So like you, the way you described it sounds like you're towing the line pretty well. You say you go out and you do what you do. When you come home, you want your husband to make the decisions. I'm sure that keeps down a lot of unnecessary crap in your relationship, because you let him lead and you still do what you do.
But you have to be with a man who likes making decisions. Some men choose to be with women like
Of
me
course.
because they don't want to make decisions.
Right.
They want someone to run their life for them.
Right.
Now, is
we
that a
just
beta,
described
or
that man.
is that lazy?
To me, I look at it as a
Kind
combination
of
of
both,
both. It's a
but definitely beta.
combination of beta for sure, no doubt,
Yes.
unequivocally. It is. And it's a combination of just being lazy. Um, I really firmly believe that women do not want to lead, but some women are in positions based off. Now, this is, fellas, I want you to understand
I don't
something,
agree with
man.
that.
That you don't agree with what?
I think some women, especially women that were raised in single female households, know
Right,
nothing but leadership.
right. Now, this is true. Now, that dynamic and that statistic is very true. But in the heart of women, and I've had conversations with independent women, and whatever. As a trainer, you hear more stuff than you don't want to hear about certain
I
things,
bet.
relationships and marriages and stuff. Because it's almost like you're a borderline shrink. So you hear so many things, but it's really intriguing and interesting that the different viewpoints and um the different mindsets of the independent woman and the women that I've talked to and had conversations with, it was like, you know what? Sometimes I do get tired of being the lead. Sometimes I do get tired of making the decisions. I just want my man to make a decision, make some of the decisions. I got to make. I'm at this certain echelon, hierarchy or position at work, and it's a high prestigious position, and then I got to come home and I got to still wear that hat. I never feel as if I get a break. There's such a catch 22 with the Miss Independent thing. And the reason why I'm for the independent woman, because again, I was raised by one. And to be raised by one makes me a little bit more open minded, because my mom raised me and my brother to be open minded, to be non judgmental. And if you got to have a certain, you have to have a certain psyche, mindset, and thinking outside the box in order to understand and receive things. And Kendall said something that is very true. It takes a special kind of man to deal with an independent woman. First of all, he has to be secure, solidified in his position. Okay, he definitely has to understand that you know he's not. Here's the thing: we don't want to. The problem in relationships, uh, people they try to change people and adjust them to fit their satisfaction, and that's not how it should be. Once you start doing that, now you're messing up the dynamics of the authenticity of what the relationship should be. That person should be able to be themselves in their butt naked truth, and you be able to accept them. But The independent woman has always been looked at and always is viewed as is this masculine, combative. So I'm like, dude, that's not always the case though. There's different cases, scenarios for different situations. You can't say that all independent women are they don't need a man and blah 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 blah. Okay, if you want to get okay, listen, okay, let's if we want to get technical, financially, no, she don't need you, dude. If she came into this picture for money, rich, getting a bag already, first of all, she's not with you for that. You should, for me, I would be like like that's like I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? You know, because she's got to me, the independent woman is just a breath of a fresh air between instead of this all the time. 24/7. Me. Enough about me. Let's talk
Yeah.
about me. It's all about me. It's all about my feelings. Fuck your feelings. Fuck the day you had. It's all about me. The independent woman is a gray line with her too. Some you some can be kind of like disconnected from all that emotional sensitive shit. You know what I'm saying? Because just the way she is. But I wish I had that post up.
Yeah, I didn't see it, so I wish I.
It's such a dope post. It was to me it was just a post in honor of my mother, the first independent woman that I knew. And if you read that post, now, contrary to popular belief, some people may think the comments came from women. What baffles me is the comments came from men. So what does that tell you, Brandon?
Oh, we talk about that all the time. I told you
Let's talk
them.
about it again, brother. So what does
Yeah,
that tell you?
the people who have the most problems with the things I say, especially when it regards women, is men. Women are like, yeah, he's right about that. But dudes be, they be in their feelings, I guess. I don't know, but that's the beta baby poop guys that you talked about before. That's who those guys are. I mean, it is what it is. But I saw the guy on the post and he called it shaming language. And thinking about where he was probably coming from, he don't want to discredit the stay-at-home mom or the mom who is not out there doing those things, I guess. But there's room for everybody. That's the thing. Lifting up the independent woman doesn't mean you diminish the stay-at-home mom, because
it
those.
doesn't.
No.
Hey, I would never judge a woman.
It's two
Based
different
off that.
dynamics. It's two different
dynamics.
No, I think that job is way harder than my job.
Right,
Way hard. I
right.
mean, there's a
Being a
reason why my
homemaker?
mom hated it. Oh my God. It's
Unpaid labor,
yes, exactly.
thankless job. Yeah.
All day, no adult interaction. This is gonna make me sound like a bad mom. That's another thing that I feel like independent women deal with
Say
is
it.
that
I was a kid. I'm not offended. Say it.
it was just I could not wait to go back to work. Like I never waited the full 12 weeks. And that might be an unhealthy habit of mine, asserting a lot of my value to my career, but I am just not fit to stay at home with my children. And I mean, I love my kids. I love spending time with them. I'm super present when I'm with them, but I see my kids maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours during the week, and then I spend the weekend with them.
Mhm.
But I used to be so ashamed of that, and so feel so guilty. Mom guilt is so real for the independent woman with kids. But I want to rewind real quick. Have both of you been with women on both sides of the spectrum?
Yes, Lord. Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Brandon?
Yeah. I'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Independent only. I haven't been with a woman who's had a woman in the house who's homemaker, stuff like that. So no, only independent women I've dealt with.
Sean, what's a positive of being with someone who is not an independent woman? Can't all be negative.
Right.
No, I mean, if you want to have kids with this woman, I mean, and she's, I mean, if she already has a kid or whatever, you can kind of watch um, her interact. It was to me, I guess, for me, I have a hard time, and I struggle with this. I'm just being honest. I have a hard time with this all about me thing with the woman that's not independent. Um, I'm attracted to independent women. I'm sorry because my mom was one, and it ain't changed. I've been like that all my life. I've tried the different things. I've tried to. I've dated women with no jobs. I've dated women no
Yeah.
food stamps. I dated women with multiple
Yeah.
kids. Not judging them. It's a different
Yeah.
dynamic. And for me, uh, I'm a workaholic. I've been working since I was as a kid. Me and my brother used to uh, mow lawns in the neighborhood, whatever we could do to make a dollar. But work ethic, a strong work ethic was my mom was when a woman is independent, she's got to be the mom. She's got to be and raising boys to be men. When my mom straight up told me, straight up, I was 12 years old, about to turn 13. She's like, I know nothing about raising a man, a boy to be a man. I am doing the best I can do. So, son, there's going to be some trials and errors in your life that you're going to have to figure out. I'm going to teach you as much as I can teach you, but son, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
One thing I'm going to teach you is hard work. Hard work. Nothing is going to be given to you in this life. And if it is, it's going to come with a price. It's just given. If it's given to you, it's going to come with a price. Work hard for what you want. You are only entitled. That's why I say nobody's entitled to nothing. You're only entitled for what you work hard for. That's in work, school, that relationship. If you're not doing the things you need to do for your dude, or if you're not doing the things that you need to do for your woman, what the hell makes you entitled to something? That's that I can't. I hate that. I can't. I detest that sense of entitlement. Just because I'm a man or just because I'm a woman. Now, what have you worked hard for within this situation? Have you worked hard at it? Have you complimented that dude? Have you said, you know what, honey? Thanks for mowing the lawn. You know what, honey? You look good in that suit today. You know what, honey? You looking real handsome today, honey. You know what, you handsome. You just text him out today and just show him. It's work. You cannot some women. I love that word some because I can't speak for all. Some women want all the compliments but don't want to take none of the criticism. You can't take the compliments without taking the criticism. They both go hand in hand. You are only entitled to what you work hard for. You want this dude to do all these things? What are you doing for him? And I'm not talking about financially here. I'm just talking about how are you as a woman with this dude? I mean, how are you? I mean, are you really concerned about him, his well being, or are you only concerned with what his money can do for you? Now, that's a huge thing that goes on now. But dating women who aren't independent and dating women who are independent, I'm going to choose the independent woman every single time. Why? Because she's out there hustling like I'm hustling. She out there getting it like I'm getting it. She's balancing kids. She's balancing work. Some women are trying to get degrees on top of all those things, and she understands my hustle. Some women don't understand the hustle, especially of an entrepreneur. That's a whole different dynamic because that shit ain't no 9 to 5 and it never turns off. Or you always answer your phone. You see that phone right there? That phone allows me to do things for you. That phone allows me to take you on trips. That phone allows me to buy you things. That phone is my business. My body is my business. My business, hey, it's going. I'm sorry. I've told everybody that. This business is always going to come first for me. It's my wife, it's my girlfriend, it's my mistress, it's my side chicks, it's every freaking thing. You're gonna be behind
Yep.
that. I'm sorry, I don't care. So I need an independent woman in my life who's gonna understand the hustle. A woman that's not independent ain't got no damn clue about the hustle. I'm gonna get complaints, oh, I don't see you enough or whatever. I was like, you know what? If you want me up under your ass 24/7, you expect me to be broke. I
I
ain't
agree
got
with that.
I mean, that's just my take on it. And I can't get away from the fact that all I seen all my life was independent women doing it without men. So if I'm raised that way and that's all I see, and these women all worked hard and they wasn't pushovers from men or from women, but they had to step up because the men in their lives weren't doing shit. So they got to step up. So I asked men, I said, listen, don't get so disgruntled with these independent women. If they're stepping it up and doing it because the men in their lives aren't doing it. Now, some women are independent and they don't have that problem. Their man does everything. It's great on that end, but that's just how they are. So I just don't understand why independent women are just frowned upon all the time. I'm an advocate for the independent woman because my mom was an independent woman. So that's my reasonings and that's my logic. And that shit ain't gonna change, baby. It's just not.
Well, this is no fun if we all have the same opinion.
well, I mean, I'm just being honest about mine, Kendall. Brandon,
Well,
independent woman or
Brandon,
not independent woman?
what were your parents like, Brandon?
My mom was independent. You know, she hustled sun up to sundown, doing hair before I was born. She went to hair school. She said when she found out she was pregnant with me. So she's been doing hair and hustling and all of that my whole life. So that's what I saw growing up, and that's what I'm used to. But I do also know that when it does come to the independent woman, and this is why I said what I said earlier, Sean. This is not to disparage independent women, because we always say not all. You know, there's pros and cons to whatever.
Stir the pot, Brandon. Stir the pot.
Stir it, baby. Stir it. I ain't judging you. Damn it.
Learning how to put down that masculine frame and be a woman when it's time. A lot of women struggle with that because in order to operate in this world as an independent woman and achieve things, you have to have some masculinity. You have to. It's very rare a woman is very feminine and she's a go-getter, boss, babe type chick. It's rare that she's like that, those soft-spoken women. No, you have to have some type of masculine energy because or else you're going to get rolled over on. So you need it. It is needed for you to be able to do that. But a lot of them can't turn it off when it comes to their relationships, and they still want to be that independent boss babe and kind of run the dude.
It's hard.
That's where that it is. It's very hard.
It's hard. I fight it.
Especially when you're a woman who's been doing it on your own, and he's not getting results as quickly as you want them, or he's not doing it exactly how you want him to do it. That urge to be like, hey, I need you to do this faster. I need you to do it this way is always going to be there. And like you say, you fight it. You fight it because, be honest, even if this is a guy who's a special type of guy, he's only going to be able to take so much. He's only going to be able to take so much. And after a while, he's going to be like, you know what? Look, okay, Miss Independent, go be independent over there. Because do you want me to do anything? Is there anything I can add to your life, man? You seem like you got it all. Is there anything that where do I fit in this cookie cutter life of yours? You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel it. Literally, this is one of the biggest problems in my marriage. It's in any relationship I've ever been in since a child is that I had, and I'm not speaking for all women, but I'm assuming this is a common internal issue amongst a lot of independent women. You have a way, you can do it faster, and you think you can do it faster, more efficiently. You can speak better, deliver it better. But I think the key, and one thing I've learned is you have to step back and let them do it wrong and just sit there and take it and compliment them and tell them how good, because you're right. It is not, you will never be happy. I'm not gonna say never. It will be hard to be happy with a man if you don't know how to be submissive. I don't care. A lot of women people are gonna hate that word, but you have to know when and where to be dominant and when and where to roll over on your back as a woman. There is strength in that. It is a skill. If you can learn when to be number one or be number two.
So I got a question for both of you guys. You can answer this. So I believe that there's women talk about, I remember Carrie Hilson made a post that went viral and a lot of content creators were talking about it. And she said, if you get the most submissive, loving, caring woman if you do XYZ for her, if you provide, if you're whatever she's looking for, if you're that, then she'll be submissive. And that's cap. That's absolutely false, because submissiveness is not a switch that you can turn on. You either are or you aren't. And if you aren't, you can work at it, but it's going to take hard work and sacrifice.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I 100% agree with that. And I think there's a difference. You guys spoke to it earlier. I think you used the word combative or quarrelsome. There's a difference between having a dominant personality and being combative or confrontational. I don't like confrontation. I don't like getting in people's faces. I don't enjoy that. I don't get this really positive adrenaline rush when I do that. But I will be the first one to raise my hand and take lead on something.
Gotcha.
So why, and this question I want to give to Kendal from a woman's perspective. Why does that word submissive, you think, I mean, in your own mind, your opinion, why do you think that the word submissive is so hard for a lot of women to swallow?
Because I think submissive, one of the first synonyms people think of is weak. And I think that women today, we live in a culture where the worst thing you can be is weak. You can't be weak. You can't. You'd rather be broke than weak. Can't be weak.
You're right about that. I have a big issue with the modern woman disparaging women of yesteryear, the women who paved the way for them to be able to do what they do today, calling those women weak because they had husbands and they were stay-at-home moms. Like, you couldn't walk a mile in these women's shoes. You stub your toe and you on the DL for a week. So get on about you can't even sit in the room with her. So don't disparage her because she was supposedly submissive and you see it as weak today. That really chaps my hide.
That's so interesting you said that, because we're putting my grandma in a nursing home, and my grandpa died a few years ago. And my mom was making a comment to her about how, well, it's different today. Women have a different role in their marriage. And she looked at my mom, she goes, my generation was different, but we were master manipulators. She's like, I could make my husband make any decision I wanted to.
Built whole back porches, driveways, little houses behind the house. Dude, my granddaddy, they built all kind of stuff. She's like, look at my man working. He just cheesing, working. She giving him lemonade, and he's doing everything for her. Femininity is your biggest superpower, and you lose femininity when you go out and try to operate as masculine. That's why the manipulation is gone. Femininity.
Yeah. I guess I agree with Brandon on that one. You're right. Now, let me ask you this. So women, when our parents were growing up, but just back then in the day when we were like, all of us were kids, do you think the dynamics of the relationships between men and women were better years ago than they are today?
I think they were easier.
Why do you say that?
Because women had a defined role. And today there's so many different roles and they all contradict each other. You have to be a good mom. You got to feed your kids organic. You got to send them to private school. Now you got to homeschool them. Then there's the go work, make your own money, be independent, be successful, love yourself. Then there's self-care. Plastic surgery is bad, but then you look and everybody and their fucking mom has plastic surgery. It's like the woman's role in today is one big fucking contradiction. Back then it was simple. You got married, you stayed at home, you made dinner every night, you raised the babies, and the dad came home, wasn't super hands-on with the kids, but he provided. It was literally that simple.
Absolutely. I think it was easier back in the day. Just off the amount of options we have today, it was much easier because studies have been done on the more options you have, the less likely you are to choose something. FOMO is a real thing today. that fear of missing out, that fear of choosing somebody and choosing wrong, or you choose somebody and a better option may come along. That's a real thing today. That's what keeps people hedging their bets. That's what keep people not putting 10 toes in. They'll put 8 toes, but I got to keep these 2 toes out just in case I got to skedaddle. That's the difference today.
Do you think there's a difference between the Black independent woman and the non-Black independent woman?
Oh, she didn't go there, did she? Oh my
Oh, I
God.
did.
Oh, yes, she did. This,
It
I
was
swear, this
40
Oh,
minutes and
that
17
that
seconds.
doggone Kendall Cann is off the
oh.
chain. I don't even want to touch that one. I ain't even going. I bet you see how I read back like, oh Jesus
uh,
Christ, help me. I don't even want. You know what? I'm gonna let Brandon. I'm gonna let you touch that one.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, I'm gonna
Okay.
let
Well,
you go ahead and
I
I'm
think
gonna
you guys have valuable insight because both of you guys described single independent women,
Mhm.
right. I'll
which
let Brandon
is,
go first.
I think there's definitely a difference.
All right.
Black women are more vocal about it, about being an independent woman, and kind of like, especially being a Black man, they're more vocal about it and kind of what's the best word to use?
there probably isn't one to say it.
Uh,
We're
Kendall
already
just
here.
spread the wrong one. She the wrong
right.
thing one
So
day.
it's almost get to a point where it's gotten obnoxious. So now when I
Right.
hear a especially a Black woman lead with education and what she does and all of that, it's an automatic turn off for me. That's one of the differences. Now, other independent women of other races, I don't really hear that as much, although I am hearing it more and more as days go on. Because one thing about, I guess, trends or fads or things like that, like I noticed, and Shauna noticed, whatever happens in the Black community usually spreads to the greater society. They
Right.
catch the flu, they catch a cold, we catch the flu. That's how it goes. So like the single mother rate and the independent woman movement has grown exponentially in like the last 40 years. They came to Black women with it, and that's where it kind of really got its start. The feminism train didn't really take off until Black women joined it back in the day. And I always tell Black women, if you're a feminist, I don't understand, because you were never under be under oppressed by Black men at any point in this country. We never had power or dominion over them. So really what you're doing is you join the white woman to fight against the white man, because
Mm.
that's where the power is.
That's
That's and
interesting.
yeah. So and it's not all of them, of course, but they can be some of the most obnoxious people in our community, if we being honest. It's not all of them, not all, but there can be very obnoxious. I don't talk to a whole lot of them outside of the community like that on a regular basis as much as I do Black women. So that's basically my opinion on it. But they can be some of the most annoying. That's the difference to me.
Wait. Who can?
Black women, when the ones who are boastful and braggadocious about it. The women who just go do their job and do what they got to do, no, we got no issue with them. But the one that the biggest difference I see between non-Black women and Black women is the ones who are braggadocious and boastful and kind of super masculine about it. And I get my own bag, real ass, give about them right there. No.
Could it just be that you associate with more Black women than non-Black women, though?
Associate, well, that's true. That's true that I associate with more Black women than women of other races. But
So
just
then,
listening to men of other races and their complaints and gripes about women in their race, whether it's white, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, you name it, they don't have that same, they don't say those same things that we say about Black women. And when they, I guess, have power in the way they act when they have power, they kind of look down on us as Black men. I know that's one of the things I know, Sean. We talked about that. They kind of have this air of superiority when she has all these things going on. And it's not all, of course, not all. Can continue to say not all, but there are those out there that are like that, and they give the whole a bad name.
yeah,
Well,
that's with anything. It's
yeah,
fascinating to me. That's why I'm asking. Obviously, I don't have the answers. I'm not a Black
right.
woman, but I do a
I
lot of research on the
uh
topic as the relationship mainly with Black women and white women goes. But I was curious on your thoughts on this.
I think just by you just being very observant by what Black women have been through and what they've experienced. Um, we don't want to dismiss the fact or forget about things that Black women have been through.
Sure.
They've been through a lot, just like the Black man has been through a lot. And you know, I, what I don't like, because my mom was a Black woman, what I don't like is when people just label Black women as just being angry as Black women. That how they are, and these things. See, here's the thing, and I've spoken about the root of problems. We talk about problems all day. We never talk about the fucking root of the problem. The root is like you have a damn plant. Unless you get to the damn root of the issue, it's like I'm gonna use an analogy. When I have a consultation and a person walks through, which is so bold for a person overweight to walk through and look at a person who's physically fit. They gotta render themselves vulnerable. When you see an overweight person, do you think they came out their damn mama's womb like that? There's a root to that problem of how they got there. But we got to get to the here's the problem with men and women and just our whole society. We don't get to the root of things, so we can't comprehend or understand the damn thing. So there's a root to Black women and how they are as women. When you sit down and have a real conversation with them and get to the root of the problem so we can better understand them. And that's what we do. I think we do that as a society of all things. We surface shit, but we don't get to the deeper root of the problem to understand where it stems from, where it's growing from. How did it get there? And until we get a little bit open-minded enough to get to the roots of these issues, we're not going to be able to rectify these issues or the problems out here. So let's get to some of these comments. Lisa Reed,
Yeah.
Kendall's got a fan. I like Kendall.
Yeah. Lisa
LOL.
says she like Kendall.
Jackie Sue Kennedy.
Hi, Jackie.
Jackie says, independent is not only financial. My dad raised me and I can fix a car, wash my own car, fix things in my house, and pay my own bills. Lisa Reed says it's a struggle to balance being an independent woman and tucking that penis back. LOL.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Then she
Yeah.
says she goes, you
Mhm.
choose your battles. She said, you choose your battles.
Do you
Do
want to
you
be
want
happy or
to
do you
be
want to be
happy or
happy?
do you want to be right? And
Hmm.
last comment, don't be a wimp, Sean. Whatever, Lisa. Wimpy on some of the responses. But you get what I'm saying, guys, about getting to the root of these issues so we can rectify the problems. We got to find out the whys and the hows and the whens. How do we get here, and how can we better understand um, women who are angry, or women who are upset, or women who
Well, why
are
do you
fed up?
think? Why do you think?
Oh,
I want to hear it.
well, you go ahead, Sean. I was going
No,
to give my
I'm done.
response.
You go ahead.
And to what I said, and just like what Sean's saying, it's a defense mechanism. Even the ones who are, I say, who braggadocious, they may be annoying, boss babe, and all that. It's a defense mechanism because any man who's dealt with Black women on a regular basis, you would know that that's a show. Like a lot of that is wolf tickets that they're selling. That that masculine kind of like frame that they have, a lot of it is for show. They're not as tough as they try to perceive to be, but
That's true.
they have to put on that show because think about what they've been through growing up. You think about the assault numbers for Black young women
Oh, it's
it's
insane.
not pretty. Yeah, it's not pretty. And not only that, trauma, baggage from relationship things they dealt with. They've dealt with a lot. They have. Let's put this. They have. They talk about being the most disrespected. Well, the most disrespected is the Black man. So if they disrespect us, you better believe they're going to disrespect you.
Now, when we said that comment, do you think other races of women ain't been through shit?
Wait, say it again,
You,
Sean.
when we say this comment about Black women, do we think white women haven't been through bad relationships
Right.
and bad men? Do we think that Asian women hasn't? For Latina, Hispanic women go through a lot as women.
Yeah.
You know, they had to fight to get their empowerment in this world. They had to fight to get their women's lib. All these different things that they've had to hurdle and get across. But here's the thing that women forget. They forget how influential they are and the power that they do possess in this world. Women have a lot of power. Now, is that power used in the wrong way sometimes? I'm
Isn't
asking.
all power?
It's not a rhetorical question. I mean, is it
Yeah.
used in the
Yeah.
wrong way sometimes, that power and that influence?
Yeah, all power is abused in some facets of
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how you appreciate it, right? You can't know
Right.
how powerful something is until it's abused and taken to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you're right. But they're not using the fullest extent of their power, Sean. Just like I said earlier, a calm but firm tone and a soft touch gets more done than that
Every
all
day.
day long, every single
Every
time.
day. Every day.
Hey,
It's hard to be.
I
How can you be
yeah.
mad at a woman who is you say something and her response is soft and sweet and that tender touch? You feel like a fucking idiot after that. I know.
Mm-hmm,
I can't. Well, I mean, I don't know about. I feel dumb. I feel
mm-hmm,
real dumb to go off on my woman, and then her response is so soft, baby. You okay? Hey, what can I do? What can I do to make things? But I mean, how do you even respond to that shit? It's like, first of all, you feel
mm-hmm.
ashamed, you feel embarrassed, and you're like, "God damn, I feel like a fucking idiot." You know what I'm saying? Babe, I'm sorry, I came at you wrong, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, man, and
Oh,
you're gonna get more from any man with your soft spoken nature opposed to the ram thing. That's not going to work. That's not going
but
to go over too well.
you want
With
to talk
that
about
said,
feeling like a
though,
jackass? Oh, I was gonna say you talk about feeling like a jackass, having to going back and forth a little bit, and have her saying, "Why are you raising your voice at me?" You're like, "Damn, I really am." Like I feel stupid. I'm like, okay,
That that's a, that yeah
let me bring
yeah.
it back down. I feel
And,
dumb,
and for me in the
and it
past,
disarms me.
I've even got even more angry because she ain't getting angry.
Yeah, and
Just
it
weird
disarms
things
me.
as a dude.
Yeah,
It's
it
just like,
disarms you as a guy.
fuck, man, goddamn,
Yeah,
goddamn it,
I
that
got
makes those. I mean, it's just you
I got
just
no defense for it. I got no
none,
defense for it.
none. Mm,
that's funny. Yeah,
it is funny.
that's my go-to in an argument. Why are
Hmm.
you yelling?
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you do this? You do this?
Hmm.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I before I bring up any type of argument, I've already thought of exactly what I'm going to say and every which angle it can go, and then a response to that respective angle. I'm never going to an argument unprepared.
Hmm.
You should have been a lawyer then, Kendall.
No, I don't like arguing. Um, but how does an independent woman, because you guys are kind of cornering my people by saying we can't fight. So how does an independent woman fight? Every woman has the right to fight. There's certain scenarios where we should fight.
What's this weed stuff? I didn't corner you.
Well, you're saying like, a soft touch and
Well, yeah. Well,
lower voice. Well, sometimes you gotta pop off. How does an
I mean,
independent woman pop off without being called masculine and
to me, I think it's the dynamics of what happened. Now, if I effed
Yeah.
up, I mean, she gonna you could pop off without going to the point of being disrespectful or taking it too far.
but
You
then
Yeah.
can
did you pop off? Was the off
did
Oh,
did
popped if
well,
you're
but
not
this is.
disrespectful?
Let me ask this:
Then we're
why do
just
you need
talking.
to pop off though?
I
Why?
mean, there's a scenario. I'm not saying like, oh, you didn't take the trash out, but I'm saying like, I don't in some fictitious scenario where someone needs to be yelled at. There's circumstances where that's justified. We're emotional creatures.
right?
Mhm.
What is the proper way to lose your shit if you're an independent woman?
That's
How do we tell a woman there's a proper way to not lose
I,
her shit?
I
I
would
don't.
say the best way I could say best way I can probably quantify that. The only thing I could give you on that is just don't be disrespectful. Don't be
Right.
disrespectful and stay above the belt, please.
Above the
Stay
belt.
above the belt and don't be disrespectful. You could yammer a little bit, okay? You like, all right, yeah, I heard you, yeah, that's enough. I got it. But if you throwing jabs, you throwing below the belt, because y'all can't beat us physically. So what you do is your words. Your word. You throw daggers with your words. We be showing up with a butter knife and you got an AK-47. You like, yo, I just thought we was having a light conversation, a discussion, but here you go popping off.
Can I
I think
say
the
something?
most mad I've ever been was I didn't yell at the person. I just dismantled their Xbox into about 75 different pieces.
Okay,
Oh,
Kendall.
I didn't throw it. I took a screwdriver and
Cause,
dismantled it.
Was he able to put it back together?
Because somebody say
Absolutely
anger.
not.
Somebody say anger management. So did I hear anger management?
It took time. I was calm.
Listen to her. You were calm, Kendall. See, I've heard women say, I'm not going to mention their names, but I've heard women say in a heated argument, when they know it's going south, they will hit the dude with the small penis comment. I was like, what? Don't
Oh,
ever
yeah.
say that. Are you
Oh,
crazy? I'm surprised you even got out there alive.
That's dumb.
But it's
That's
done.
dumb.
It's dumb. You say
Because
it's dumb, but
you're with that
I've
person.
heard
So
that I've heard women tell me that they told a man that. I'm like, you told him that? Yeah, it was just I'm like, are you out of your mind? And just listen to a woman tell me, a dude, that she told another man, yeah, I told I'm like, oh my God. I felt sorry for the dude automatically. It was like, oh my God, that just hurt my spirit, my soul. I'm like, whoa.
does that hurt your spirit? I guess if you actually had a small member, but
Right.
at the
You
same time, like to me, that's an argument. That's a point for me because you were with said penis. If you've been with said penis more than once, then you're dissing yourself.
exactly.
yeah,
It's,
That
yeah.
just
it's
seems stupid.
They don't.
but it
They
happened.
don't.
It has
It
happened.
happens.
It has
It
happened.
happens.
I've heard
Shoot, that's
women
like
say
being.
that women have told guys that they have.
Yeah, that's like being called a ban, dude. That right there. There's no coming back from that.
I don't even know what that means, but I agree.
BAN. Call you a BAN word. So you get
I
what I'm.
got that.
Yeah, that's why I
I
don't
got
know
that.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
don't call me that.
or a woman or a dude calling a woman the C word. That is, which is Jesus Christ. I'm like, I've never done it in my life. The C word, and
That
I
word
ain't
doesn't
even.
bother me.
Yeah, I wouldn't
You
believe
know
that
what?
would
Hold
bother
on,
most
hold on,
women
hold
though.
on.
There's really not a word that
Well,
bothers me, to be honest.
Kendall, I'm not even surprised. Coming from you.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, whatever.
I
Yeah,
cuss
yeah,
like
I
a
am.
sailor. That's
Oh
probably
yeah,
why.
Kendall, you don't have to tell me. I know. I've been around you, buddy. So
Yeah.
yeah, Kendall is just off the wall different, off the wall different, but good person, good person. So I mean,
Thanks.
this this I just wish we can get to the point to where the Miss Independent woman isn't so misunderstood. I think
Yeah, it's not
I
going to
think
happen.
I think I think independent women are misunderstood. I personally think. Now, Brandon, I didn't get your take. Independent or non-independent? I didn't know which woman you wanted, bro. I mean, you ain't got no kids and never be married with yet. I mean, you've
Mhm.
never yet none of that. So when it comes time for you to pick that woman, for you to, pick your queen, your Mary, whatever, your virtuous woman.
Mhm.
When it comes, do you want her independent or do you want her not independent? You the
I, w- I
you the young one here.
I want her. I would want her to be independent, getting her own. I definitely don't want her like this in my face.
Right.
24/7, of course.
24/7, right.
But if I was to marry, which the laws in this country is ridiculous. But if I was to marry and if I was to consider, I would want a woman who, no matter her independence, you can have your independence. But if we are going to have children, I want you there with the children as much as possible until they gain some sort of independence and they're able to walk and talk and we're able to put them in school until that time. You ain't
Right.
got to raise them till they're 18, of course, but I want them to be able to speak and say stuff, so in case anything happens, they can tell me what happened. Because I've seen too many horror stories. Dude, the fighting rink, the fight club that the daycare had. They had a toddler fighting rink where they was betting on the kids and they were fighting in the ring.
Fuck?
You didn't hear about that?
Amazing business plan.
No, man, I
Right.
ain't heard about that.
So,
that don't even. That don't. It sounds so
Were they?
crazy.
Do they have weapons?
No, they were.
Or was it
they
just
were fighting.
hand-on-hand combat?
They was letting them go, and they were betting on the fights. Mm-hmm.
Did anyone get hurt?
Yeah,
toddlers.
kids got beat up. Kids got beat up.
Okay,
You know,
then
they
I
let
won't
kids
say.
Right. But and I mean, with things with the lady, the people leaving the kids inside the daycare van, and the little girl died. Like, I don't want stuff like that to happen. So I would want her to be able to take care. Whatever you're doing, being able, hey, put that to the side. Let's get the kids to some sort of independence, and then once they get up there, then you go back and do whatever. But as far as raising the kids, I need her. I need her at the house.
No.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree.
And I think a lot of women would agree with that. I mean, I have a lot of independent female clients who chose to stay at home with their kids for like the first 5 years.
Mhm.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be hard to find.
If we're not
That's
going to have any kids, then we could be both. We go get us and go do what we do. We're not having children, but if we're having
Right.
children, yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, can the independent woman have balance?
I think that it will be a lifelong battle. Battle's not the right word I wanted to use. But a lifelong effort. And you have to be intentional. And if you are not, you will end up being very jaded and bitter and probably single more often than you want to be.
You think so, Kendal?
Yeah, that's one of the questions I was going to ask you guys, but I didn't want to piss you guys off in the beginning. I was going to save it for the end. Did you guys ever actually witness and pay attention to your mothers being in long-term relationships? Did they
Yeah.
even have serious relationships
Yeah.
while you were in the house?
Yes.
And how long did
Yeah.
those last?
Oh, Jesus. My mom was with this one. Golly, seemed like this one guy forever, man.
Don't even remember his name. Can't be that long.
Well, he went by the name Rock. That's all I knew him by. But she was with him for a while. For a long time. For some
What's
reason.
a long time?
Kendal, you got me going back in the archives in my mind right now. So as far as I remember, God, I wish why is my brother not on this podcast? He probably would know it straight off rip. As far as I remember, at least 12 years.
Oh shit.
And
Okay.
it could be longer, but I didn't like the dude. I mean, I didn't like no dude she was with. I just didn't. There was one guy my mom dated. His name, I don't want to say his name was Terry. He was in the Navy. Good dude, and I liked him because he was nice to me he was nice to me as a kid. For some reason, this other dude that my mom dated is like. I mean, I'm like, dude, you're a grown ass man. I'm a fucking kid. Why are you battling against me? I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, I just couldn't wrap that around my 12-year-old mind. I'm like, you're a grown ass man. In my mind, I'm like, this dude is grown. I remember boxing this dude in the yard. This dude, me and this dude didn't like each other. We wanted to box, and I'm like, you dude, are we seriously gonna do this? We seriously gonna box?
For fun or over?
Oh, it was serious, man. Because he's like, you don't like me, you don't like me, I don't like you. We gonna go in the backyard and fix it. I was like, dude, this dude, man. I said, man, and so going through that bullshit at a young tender age like that, I even got more mad that my real dad went in the picture. I said, man, God, what you sorry?
Yeah.
I'm going through this bullshit with this dud ass dude, you know what I'm saying? Trying to box me. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? He was surprised about them hands. I'm like, I'm just saying, I'm like, and then it just got even worse. So I called my grandma, I called, me and him got into it, and I called my grandma. My grandma called child enforcement service on his ass. My
Oh
grandma
my
just didn't care. So
God.
I went in. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a true story. I mean, I didn't like the dude. I just did not. Me and that dude did not get along, man. It was like I'll be walking around the house and excuse my French. He was looking at me like, damn, who, you know, who this little nigga in the house? You know, what I mean, just, you know, what I mean, I'm like, dude, I'm like, I'm a kid. I just don't understand a grown ass man treating a kid like ain't. That's why I'm real careful, real careful, because I tell my my daughter, I told her, I say, listen, it bet not be you. You better whoever come around him. He got one motherfucking time to mess up with that one. His ass is gonna come up missing. Cause I keep them crazy goons on standby on that phone. He gonna come up missing. We gonna put him someplace nobody gonna be able to smell his ass. He better not mess with mine. That's all I'm saying. Do what you want to do, but you gonna be borderline kind of getting funked up to. I mean, just to choosing the wrong dumbass because of a one I went through as a kid. You know, being just mistreated by this dude, you know, that's not even my father. And, you know, we was in his house and shit. I was like, man, I got the hell up out of there, man. I called my grandma. I said, Gram, get me up. I need to get up out of here, man. This is, and my grandma took it a step up and called child enforcement services on this ass. And I was like, damn, grandma. So I mean, you know, I look like I look real bad then, you know, but, you know, it's a just different dynamics, man, of that thing. So
Well, but
yeah,
then
Yeah.
looking back, reflecting on this conversation that we had, and then now taking a real honest and transparent look at your mothers, do you feel like they were good independent women? They held the balance correctly?
Yeah. I think my mom did.
my
I think
mom had, yeah, my mom did too. My mom just had um, certain beliefs on how a woman should carry herself and how she should present herself and how she should be there for her man. You know, especially my mom. What my mom don't my mom couldn't understand. She said that our generation, mine and the youngest generations, that we don't have no fight in us about what we have as a family unit, about our marriages and our situations and being a divorcee, I feel is people say, you know, one of the things I feel as if I failed at life is, you know, not sustaining a successful marriage. It
You were
bothers me.
married, Sean?
Oh Jesus Christ, Kendall, that's old. We ain't finna have this discussion. That's
Oh
another
my God, I
podcast.
didn't know
I've been
that.
married twice, yes, and failed.
Oh shit.
So
You're bad at that.
my thanks, Kendall. Yeah, just
Yeah.
let the insults just keep on coming, Kendall. I love you too, sweetheart. But Sean, you are off for that. Don't try that again. I'm like, but the thing about it is
Not
that
your thing.
it's okay. Okay. So let's get to the subject at hand. So my whole thing is this. My whole thing is this is one of the things I feel as if I failed at, and I take that very seriously. My mom just wish she's like, yeah, y'all don't fight for anything. And that's what I loved about. And some people say, oh, their generation was stupid. They put up with all that bullshit and whatever. I said, a woman not giving up her husband on a silver platter to the next bitch playing a he say she say shit is stupid. No, she's smart. She's not breaking up her home because of her fucking pride and ego.
Yeah. Yeah. Straight like that. My mother, she told the line, I think. Just watching her operate in her relationship. She was married for, I think they were married for 10 or 12 years or something like that. And just the way she operated was different from other women, just in my family. Looking at the women, whether it was about uncles or cousins, whatever, the men in my family and their wives or other women in the family who were married or independent women. And I watched women openly disrespect men. I watched it. I saw it. I saw it on a pretty much
Okay.
regular basis. Oh, you got okay. Yeah, I saw it pretty
Yeah,
much
yeah.
on
I
a
got my
regular basis.
Wi-Fi was acting crazy.
Okay, yeah, but I saw that pretty much on a regular basis, and my mom never did that. She never openly disrespected him. She never said anything disparaging in front of us or anything like that. You know, we had our issues, man. Like Sean, we got in a fight in the yard. It was what it was. I think I was like 16
Is
at the
that a
time.
thing?
Yeah, it's a thing because number
Kendall,
one,
you
he's
can
not
go
my
ahead and
dad.
say, is that a black thing? You go ahead and say it,
I
Kendall.
can't say that, but you did.
Yes,
Is
you
that?
can. Yes, you can.
No, I
No,
can't.
that's a boy dealing with a man in the house that's not his
Right.
father. It doesn't
Right.
matter the race because the
Okay.
boy is going to always have an issue with a man coming in trying to rule over him, and he's not his dad. And does say he don't respect this man or this man like the way he treated Sean. You know, we gonna have issues.
So you're
But
saying
my
it's
mom,
primal.
yeah, it's a primal thing. But the way my mom did it, you know, she operated different from. I always tell her, I was like, I'm so thankful for her, how she is and the type of woman she is, because even through all her independence, because dude, she's a go-getter. That lady, she was on her feet, sun up to sundown, doing hair, you know, making ends meet for a very, very long time. She still does hair to this day while working another full-time job. So she's
Wow.
always been a go-getter, you know.
Yeah.
But if I was to deal with independent women, she has set the bar. No doubt about it. She has set the bar. And it's not like she's done anything extraordinary out of this world. No, she knew when to be a woman and when she needed to take control. I think that's the balance that a lot of women lack today, is that knowing when to be the woman and then knowing when to take control. Because there are
Exactly.
times when you need to be the woman and there's going to be
Hmm.
times when you need to take control.
I
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
Because life is about balance, and that that's funny that you brought that up. Before my Wi-Fi went out, I was gonna segue into that. My mom had really good balance, and my mom said, you know, as women, we don't have to win every argument.
Yeah.
With women, we don't have to be nitpicky about everything. As women, we don't have to bring up shit that the dude did 10 years ago, because 9 times out of 10, guys, we don't remember. We ain't gonna remember that shit that we messed up and did wrong anyway. Guys never keep. I've never met a high volume of guys that just keep tallies of all the wrongs that women do. Um,
Yeah.
I
You've
mean,
never met a man who has
a bunch of tally.
compartmentalization issues.
Yeah, she does this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. He's just got a whole laundry list of stuff that she doesn't do. But have I had and been in a relationship with women who remember every goddamn thing that I've done? And I'm like, that shit happened 5 years ago, and we still talking about this shit. You still got an attitude about this? I'm like, Jesus Christ, do you not understand that forgiveness, true forgiveness, is never bringing up the dumb subject again? That's true forgiveness. When you constantly bringing up shit, you bitter heifer, you still holding on to shit I did 5 years ago. No wonder I saw you looking at me sideways a couple of years ago. I woke up and you looking at me in my sleep or something like that. I'm just, being funny. But I'm just saying, guys, it's almost not in our nature to be harboring stuff against our woman that she did 5 and 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, my mom said, women, they can have the right man, but they nitpick him to death, and nothing he does is good enough.
Some women feed off of that, Sean. I had an
You know what I'm
ex-girlfriend
saying?
tell me. I had an ex-girlfriend tell me, she's like, you don't get mad. I was like, what you talking about? I get mad all the time. I was just mad the other day. What you talking about? She said, no, you don't. She said, you simmer for about 5 minutes and then you move on to the next thing like it's puppies, sunshine, and rainbows, and ain't nothing wrong. I was like, am I supposed to carry that for the rest of my life? I'm not understanding. But I used to be that way, Sean, and it took me some time to get past that. One of the things that helped me was I was in church one day, a place that I don't go as often as I should anymore. But I was in church one day, and the pastor was talking about your problems. She said, when you have your problems on your journey, you have this man, he had a backpack, and all his problems he put in the backpack as he went along on his journey. But one of the things he did was he cut a hole in the bottom of the backpack. So eventually, whatever those issues were would pass eventually. And
I
I was
like
like,
that.
wow. I was like, I love that. I've never forgot it. And that's how I was able to get past stuff, because getting past the relationship I had with my mother's husband, getting the resentment and what I harbor for that guy and the issues I had with him, once I got past that, there's nothing I'm stuck on you for what, man? No, that was the toughest thing right there.
I feel that. I feel that. So in college, I was in a really abusive relationship, and I'm lucky I got out of it with a semblance of sanity. And now, it doesn't matter. My husband could do some crazy shit. None of it really bothers me, because once you've been through like real trauma or real
Hmm.
grief or real
Right.
rebuilding, shit just doesn't hurt you the same anymore, because you know
Yeah.
how to deal with it.
Damn, damn. I say that all the time, and I kind of say it
It's like you have a
more,
callus.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's like I tell people all the time,
You
I was
can't hurt
like,
me.
I tell
Yeah.
people, I say it in podcasts, like, there is nothing you can do, nothing you can do to hurt me. I've lost my freedom before. I lost my mother. I lost, I lost my uncle. I lost my aunt. I lost my, I lost so much. There is nothing. I mean, the second location, tons of money. There's nothing you can do to there's nothing you can't even penetrate me. Give me your best shot. Oh,
Pause.
it's nothing.
Yeah, pause.
It's nothing. It's nothing. So yeah, man. I mean, and Kendall, you're right. When you went through the worst of the worst,
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you spinning your wheels. All right, you can shoot your shot. I mean, and try to hit me with something, but that shit
Now
gonna bounce off.
you still feel stuff. Like I still get
Man, yeah,
angry,
I feel
but
stuff.
it doesn't take you to the same place because you
No,
know
No.
you can bounce back.
Mm-mm.
So it's
right,
just like, why even go there? Because I'm just gonna have to bounce back farther. I'm just gonna take it here, and I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
right,
Oh yeah.
right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Because words do hurt, contrary to popular belief.
What are you
Yeah.
Yeah.
crying? What are you doing? Are you sweating?
Uh, Kendall, you, yeah, Kendall, my eyes. I'm coming over pink eye, so I'm getting over it.
Mm,
Yeah,
that was an
yeah. So,
opening to a really great. We won't go there.
you know what, Kendall? Whatever, man. Whatever. You ever had pink eye, Kendall, as an adult? You
No,
don't
because I
want that.
clean
You
myself.
now, brother, don't take baths now. Okay,
Mm-mm.
but
Wow.
let the insults keep coming
Wow.
on social
You
media.
just told the whole
Yes,
world you had pink eye as a grown
got
ass
got.
man.
I, I,
You got
it
gray in your
happened.
beard and pink in your
I,
eye.
so who gives a shit? I don't live my life like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
that poor napkin.
mm, I'm coming out with a brand that fuck what people think. You think I care about what anybody thinks of me? No, I don't. So moving right along, because
Mm.
Sean goes by the beat of his own drum, baby. I'm all in my world. So yeah, I had fucking pink eye. There you have it there. America, Facebook world, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. It's in there. I don't shower, take bath. Haven't bathed since 1998.
Mm. That was when
Believable.
Dove's Cry came out, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, brother. You need to go back to them late 80s, bro. No, I
Hmm.
mean,
Not when Dove's Cry, but 1999. That's in 1999.
1999 came out.
That's when that. Mhm.
So Kendall, I'm jumping on I'm on the bandwagon, buddy. I'm on your bandwagon. Give me some more, man. Give me some more. I can take it. Yes, sir. I like another. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So this was really good stuff. Women can have balance. They gotta have to want to have balance. They have to make a decision. Every life is about choices.
Yeah.
I can wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? I'm gonna be a dick today. Woman can wake up, I guess I'm gonna be a bitch today. I mean, you could. Life is all about choices. Situations about choices. Conversations, choices. Everything you do in life and every day is about choices. She can choose. The independent woman can choose to have balance or choose not to. And just like Kendall said, she kind of almost dismissed. She should, Kendall could have said, grow old and have a dog, grow, die alone. I mean, pretty much, if that doesn't change, because that's a difficult female to deal with on a regular basis.
I'll close with this. I think that, and I'm not in my 40s or 50s yet, but I think that the independent women, there's phases in life, right? As young people in our prime, there's more of a hunger to go and get it, right? everyone wants to say like I'm a hustler, I'm a go-getter, but like we're at the stage in our lives where there's motivation to get hungry. I think the independent woman, just like any woman, gets to a phase, maybe, 40s, 50s, where they now want to settle down. And I think that women forget that the dating pool changes drastically in your 30s and then again in your 40s. Because I have a lot of clients going through this now. They're in their 40s and 50s. 40 and 50-year-old
Kendall,
men don't want to be
Kendall,
with,
repeat that. Say that again, and say it
say
for the
what?
people in the
Man,
back.
you killing it.
Everything
I
what you
use
say. Go back to
killing.
what you said about the dating pool and the age bracket. Please repeat that again for the
The
people in the
dating,
back.
the dating pool
Hmm.
changes. It doesn't just shrink. The
Mm-hmm.
value of the people within it change.
Yep.
So women are achieving their goals and they're hitting those milestones. And then they get to their 40s and 50s. And yeah, sure, maybe they never wanted kids and they're cool with that. But now they realize they do want a partner. They're seeing friends die, family die for the first time in their lives. They realize how important it is to have a partner of the opposites or the same sex, whatever, however the fuck you roll. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Um, but what I'm seeing with my clients is that, and friends, when you get to 40 and 50, your counterpart, it does not want to date a 40-year-old woman. They want the 30-year-old women. So now you got to go up another age bracket. Now you're 40 or 50 and you're looking at the late 50s, 60-year-old men. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole, these are things women aren't thinking of in their late 20s and early 30s. I'm not saying the goal should be get married and have kids in your late 20s or 30s, but I'll tell you what, my goal was to be married and then have children before I was in my mid 30s. I knew that that was on my goal list. I write down my goals every year, 5, 10, 5, 7, and 10-year goals. And I've been doing that since I was 12. That was one of my goals because I knew what it looked like and I didn't want to deal with that. I always knew that I would need a man emotionally, even before I had a job. Even I knew that a man was going to be a part of my life. So I mean, that's something that I like. That's a lot of women are not thinking about until it's too late.
You know what you just said? Need.
Mm.
That's what you just said that I like when I heard it. You said, I know I need it. I always hear that, well, so I want you, but I don't need you. Well, okay, then bye. It is what it is. What it is. You don't need me. Okay, cool. But you said you need it. Not saying that you're just helpless and you're gonna have your hand out and you just, you're not gonna work, you're not gonna be independent. But you just said you knew you were going to need that at some point.
So
And you knew
funny.
if you didn't get it, when you did get it, it was gonna be very, very hard to do so. I tell my sisters, tell women in our family all the time, as you age, your dating pool, it shrinks. And as you go up in status and career, it shrinks as well. Because women only want to deal with men on their level or higher. So the higher you go, the less men are going to be there. And
And
guess
not
what?
even just shrinks. The value of the man or the woman
Mm-hmm,
in those circles is
mm-hmm.
much more likely questionable than not.
And who are these men? These what they call high value men. Who are they normally chasing? You're only chasing 20-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest about it. So that whole like Nicki Minaj and Lala was on a IG live and they were talking about, well, how about we stop talking about these men being the prize and we boss up, do what we do and get our stuff together. Then we'll decide and we'll choose them and we'll decide. That's not how it works. You can't choose.
It's
You
rare.
can't. It's rare, and you can't choose. No woman has ever been able to go up to a man and say, "Hey, we're getting married. You got to propose." And he was like, "Okay, cool." No, it was his decision. It's his decision. He decides when you get into a relationship or get married. Now, we're not on your timeline. We're on my timeline. Only time we're on your timeline is when it comes to sex. That's it. But when it comes to relationships and marriage, you want my commitment, so you want my time.
Mm. Wow, that sounds like another podcast right there.
Nah.
Yeah. So final thoughts,
I'm
Kendall.
out of them. I've contributed some fucking gold here. I think I'm good.
You did, but that's what we wanted.
you
We on this show. We need a woman's perspective.
you triggered some women too, for
Yeah,
sure.
and you went raw, and yeah, I'm sure they're gonna be like, what? Yeah.
Mhm.
Final thoughts, B.
Final thoughts. I would just say for the independent women out there, hustling, trying to make that dollar, and they're looking for something real. You have to be able to toe that line, knowing when to be a woman and knowing when to take control, and allowing a man to simply be a man. One of the things that's underrated when you come to looking for partners, because men are visual and how a woman looks. We don't necessarily care about their education or how much money you're making, especially if you're a man who's about something and you got your stuff together. That's not at the top of the list. But one of the things that get lost in the shuffle, being a joy to be around. It sounds simple. Sounds very simple, but it's not. Because a lot of women don't understand that you just being wanting to be around you and you being a joy to be around, it's a lost art. It really is. So what is if you're looking for this partner, just being cooperative and saying yes, not being combative, not being quarrelsome. Not that don't mean you don't have a voice. You got to sit in the corner and be pretty with your floral dress on. No, it's just that when it's time for the man to be the man, allow a man to be a man. It's really simple.
Wow, that's good stuff. So, if I had a final thought, short and sweet, life is all about balance. You have to find that and create that. It's okay to be independent, but it's okay to be independent with balance. And if you're not independent with balance, you're losing out on the bigger picture. The big man upstairs did not design women or man to be alone. We missed this whole point. He did not design the earth for women to be on this side and men to be on this side. He created men and women for each other.
Mm-hmm.
We are the ones as men and women who are changing the dynamics. That's why the world is out of balance until it comes back in balance. And we understand that it is not a competition between men and women. If we are married or we're together or we're in a relationship, we are on the same damn team. What are we
Yeah.
fighting about? We're fighting about how society is brainwashing people into believing it's monarchical bullshit. And that is the problem. Our job is to change the fucking narrative and put it back. Things get back into alignment the way the big man upstairs actually wanted it. He made us both for each other. So
Yeah.
you can make a choice not to be with nobody. That's your choice. That's your decision. You made it, support it. But if you're going to be for the man or you're going to be for the woman, you got to understand it's about us both. It's about what we have. It's what we got. It's about our union, our circle. That's what it's about. And we just got to find that balance back and just in life, period. So that's it. Guys, Kendall Con, Cann, my bad. Oh, I said Con. She's gonna be like, shut up, at you. Kendall Cann, my boy Brandon Lampley. It was a good podcast. Kendall, when are you gonna have me back on your show, buddy?
You gotta fuck up again and then be willing to talk about it. Brandon, you can come if you're open to talking about how you sucked up in life.
Oh yeah.
Kendall,
I got a whole lot for that.
I have a lots of fucks up in my life. A
I
whole
know.
lot.
You didn't even talk about my favorite one.
Which one?
I'm digging my way out of fuck ups right now. So yeah, let's
Well,
talk
Oh,
about it.
really? Well, you'd have to
Mm-hmm.
narrow it down to 45 minutes. How,
Okay,
your
I could do that.
criminal past, John. That's like the
yeah,
most interesting part about you.
yeah. I'll get into that. I'll get into that. We can
Save
have
it
a
for the
show
book.
next time I come over your show. We'll talk about it. I'll dive right into it. Everything
Okay,
I
well,
saw, everything I encountered, the whole nine. So that's it, people. Listen, Kendall, how can these wonderful people in our world, how can they find you? How can they find you?
Instagram. My Instagram is Kendal, just like my little name tag, .can. I'm on Facebook, same thing, Kendal.can.
Mhm.
Twitter, same thing. Um, and on there, you have direct contact to my email or my assistant or my marketing people, and they'll shoot you right over to my inbox if you have questions. I don't know what we talked about that you'd have questions about. It's all pretty straight fucking forward, but here if you do.
Brandon,
Yeah.
how can the people find you, bro?
All social media platforms: Brandon Lampley, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Find me on those platforms. Check me out. Join me on my lives. We have a sports show and we have candid conversations. We got to get this censorship going, dog. We got to get it done. Got to talk about this censorship.
Tell me when you want to do it, bro.
What's
You want to do it tomorrow?
We can do it tomorrow. So we basically talking about censorship, period. Like just from whether it's social media or different outlets and them trying to suppress information, or it's schools omitting things from history. You had China censored the lesbian plot line in Friends, and people were upset about that. Like, why are you censoring it? Yeah, so we're gonna talk about censorship.
Yeah. All right, guys. Listen, y'all like, subscribe, and comment. We will comment on these comments. I'll comment. Brandon comment. Kendal, she may comment. She may not. She's a busy woman. So, of course. So, listen, like I always say at the end of my segments, I'll start judging people once I'm perfect. But since this brother is in no danger of ever becoming perfect, you never have to worry about this guy ever. Not even a smidget close. You never have to worry about this brother ever judging you. All right, you guys. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in, supported, and liked. We appreciate you. Love you. Love is love. We'll catch you guys on the flip. Peace.
Nighty
Bye,
night.
Kendal. Bye.
Peace out.
Peace.